Welcome back. We just implemented beam particles for firing our weapon, and now we're about to start implementing aiming functionality. Now the first thing we want to do is add an offset so that our character is not directly in the middle of the screen. We'd like our character to be just off to the left a little bit and down, so we can put some crosshairs in the middle of the screen, and that's where our focus will be when we're shooting. Now, we're not going to want our character to orient to the movement anymore. So back in our character class, in shooterCharacter.cpp, let's scroll up to the constructor. Now we're going to set BUseControllerRotationYaw to true. We would now like our character to rotate to our controller's rotation in the yaw. The pitch and roll can still remain constant because we don't want our character to alter its pitch or its roll, only the yaw. We're also going to take our B-orient rotation to movement on our character movement component and set that to false. We no longer want to orient our rotation to our movement. Now finally, for our offset, let's go up to our camera boom. The spring arm component has a property called socket offset. So let's access that through camera boom. Camera boom, socket offset, and this is actually an F vector. Now you can experiment with different values, but I've found that I like these values. We're going to do 0.f for the X, 50.f for the Y, and 50.f for the Z. This is going to move our socket over in the Y direction by 50 units and up in the Z direction by 50 units. So we'll have a bit of an offset for the socket at the end of our spring arm component, which our camera is attached to. Let's compile so we can see how this works. So back in the editor, we'll hit play. We'll notice that the character does not orient toward the movement anymore. And we also have a bit of an offset. The character is not in the center, but off to the left. And that's because the camera has moved over in the Y direction by 50 units and up in the Z direction by 50 units. So this concludes this video. We added a socket offset for aiming, and in the next video, we're going to continue with our aiming mechanics, starting with creating some crosshairs. See you in the next video.